So you need to support, but then you also need to take a deep breath and expand. How do you do this and put it all together? There seems to be a discrepancy sometimes. If you're still struggling with breathing, and let's face it, this is a topic we all need to remind ourselves over and over again over time. Even I still have to nowadays. If you still need to brush up on this technique, this video is going to be perfect for you. Let's first talk about how to take a natural deep breath but still support. The underlying basic foundation for this is really your posture. As soon as you have a lifted posture where from the sternum you lift yourself, your chest is nice and high, but at the same time your shoulders stay relaxed, your neck stays relaxed, your jaw stays relaxed, you're not shifting your neck forward. As long as you're keeping that nice and lifted, tall posture, there's this basic support that is activated. Just because of the fact that you have to hold yourself up in order to do this, you can feel it's quite a bit of work right here around these muscles. So just having that posture, as soon as you get on stage or step into your teacher's studio or you begin your practice session, even before you begin vocalizing, this is the basic posture you get in. Practice this every day. I have videos about this. You can practice this every day as you stand in line, when you walk, even when you sit, you can still have that lifted posture. Make sure you get into this habit of always being lifted, having your arms and your shoulders relaxed. That is the basic. So if you stay in this posture, you could still pretty much go about your day. I can take a nice deep breath, and it feels pretty natural. It might feel a little bit weird at first to think, do I really need to be this lifted? But we don't want an arched back. We also don't want a hunched back. We just want straight up kind of posture. And when you sing, you want to take a natural breath. However, of course, when you sing, it's all amplified a bit. You don't want it forced. You don't want to suck in the air. What I want to rather think of is actually opening up those air passages so that the air can fall deep down all the way into my back. It's almost like I'm imagining air having a weight. And when I open up my mouth and get the tongue out of the way, lift the soft palate, keep the pharyngeal space nice and open. And then I expand around here. You could see my belly when I just take a nice deep breath. I can see that expansion, I can feel that expansion, and that is really important when you sing, to have the posture and the expansion. Now, when you sing, of course, there will be different kinds of breaths you need to take, but every breath should be that open kind of breath. As soon as there's constriction on the way of the air flowing into your lungs, you can't really get as much air as you could, as fast as you could. Is a lot worse than. Also, you can take, of course, a much faster breath when you stay open. Another thing that is really important, keeping your pharyngeal space open, lifting that soft palate, even while you're inhaling, will already set the stage for the vocalization process as you're exhaling the air and producing tones with your vocal cords. So keeping that openness is just a practice for those muscles to keep those spaces there. So when you go, the tendency is probably also to sing a vowel like ha, ha, because I'm never really activating those muscles that keep the spaces open so there's no constriction. The same happens with the posture. When I exhale, I don't want to collapse, because then that means I have to build up that pulling up again. I have to build up that posture. That takes a lot of motion, movement, and energy. That is not a natural breath. We want an unconstricted natural breath, and you automatically have that support if you keep that posture. Now here's the thing. What happens when you're singing phrases and then there's moments of silence, and of course What happens to your support when you have that moment of, okay, now I'm taking a breath and then I'm continuing to sing? So, I am singing now. I am singing now. I am singing now. I am singing. I am singing. I am singing now. Singing, of course. And you can see that expansion. You can also see me pushing in the air, but I'm never really just collapsing. I'm keeping this lifted, and so I never get into this position of I'm also keeping my air passages open. So I'm singing, I'm singing, I'm singing, I'm singing, I'm pushing the air up, not in, but I'm pushing up from below until I'm at the end of my breath and I support. Now I'm at the end of my breath. I keep my support. I don't just, I keep the support. I keep the support. And now I just take that nice, natural breath, expand again, and bam, I'm back at the top of my breath. When I talk about the top of the breath, it means I'm in a fully inhaled state. And you have much better support when you're in a fully inhaled state versus almost all the way exhaled. Because of course you have the most expansion when you're fully inhaled. And the goal is of course not to lose your expansion too quickly. And I will make another video about why expansion is so extremely important. So you may have noticed when I just sang that at the end of phrases, I actually exhaled. This is something that happens a lot, especially in popular kind of music. In classical music, sometimes just for expression. So it would sound really weird. I hate you. I hate you. I'm so desperate because you hurt me, because you hurt me, because you hurt me. Sometimes you have short phrases and you don't need all your breath. And it sounds really strange because we don't really do this naturally, that we just kind of have that very clean sound and then we end the pitch. You hurt me, and then take a breath. You hurt me, take a breath. And by the way, that makes you be always just very much on top of breath and you never exhale all the way, and it might feel a little strange after a while and uncomfortable. So you do actually sometimes want to get all the way to the end of the breath. However, you might not need to over the course of the phrase just because the phrase isn't that long. And the sound of your breath, what you do, that support will sometimes cause an outward push of breath. When you have a lot of tension, not the bad kind of tension, but the good kind of tension, because it's intense and the meaning of what you're singing is intense. It's like, you hurt me, you hurt me, you hurt me, you hurt me. You can see how at the end of the phrase, I sometimes push out before I pull in again. And that is also part of expressiveness, but it's a natural flow of your breath. I mean, listen to anyone who's desperate. It's like, oh no, yes, I knew it. It's that outward push of breath, which is actually a very natural thing. I have been asked many times, how can I turn off the sound of my breathing because it's disturbing? I don't want it on the recording. Now, of course, you can cut it out, but it's really strange when you listen to a recording where you hear no breathing. There are cases when it makes sense, when the arrangement makes sense, but especially when you're very raw and exposed and it's very unplugged kind of sounding, you need the sound of that breath. And that unconstricted breath is what we want. That is the natural sound. Of course, when we get expressive, we sometimes might not be as open and we are more gasping because the meaning of the song requires us to do it that way. Oh, I'm so desperate. I am so desperate because you hurt me. Oh yes, I mean, sometimes we do this on purpose, but I always want you to come back to the very proper way of doing things. So keep that support through your inhaling process as well as the exhaling process. Next video, I'm going to talk about expansion and why it's important in order to create compression. Stay tuned for one of my next videos. If you have not subscribed already, please do. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you will be back soon for more singing tips. You may have more time on your hands right now than maybe you have had recently. So take advantage of it and revisit some technical issues that you might have. Join my Facebook group. It's called Master Your Voice. And if you want more material, more free courses, I have a lot of stuff on my website, masteryourvoice.tv. Just go to free stuff and you can find a lot of goodies there. I'll see you next time. And until then, always keep a song in your heart and always keep on singing. Bye.